Hello and welcome back to another episode of Raw Emotion. I'm your host, Derek Chappelle. It's been a minute, but I'm back. Took a little hiatus. And today I have a special guest with me here, Mr. Brian Donahower with Quantum Healing Hypnosis. How you doing, Brian?
Hi, Derek. Thank you for having me, and I'm honored to be on your show. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate that. Thanks for kind of supporting the show, and I love what you do, and that's kind of what I want to get into.
Okay.
In this show a little bit about kind of what you do and how you help people, because this show is all about that, right?
Right.
Kind of talking about things that are helpful to mind, body, spirit, right?
Right.
So you yourself, tell me a little bit about yourself and quantum healing hypnosis and how that kind of works.
Sure. Okay. I am a quantum healing hypnosis. I've learned the technique from Dolores Cannon, who's since passed in 2015. And this particular method for quantum healing is for people who are simply hurting, and they could be hurting emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and very much like yourself, this is all about helping people. Now, the difference here, or the subtle difference really, is what I do through hypnosis is help people heal themselves. Put someone into a light trance. We connect through to their higher self, their subconscious. And we ask questions. Why is so-and-so suffering from this? Or why do they have this issue? And we can, again, explore that. And if we find a root cause, the client can claim that, and we see healing as a result. Again, across the spectrum, physical, I've seen people walk in with a limp and walk out fine, literally. I've seen others take some time to digest and process what they experience, because it truly is a life-changing experience. And I consider it a privilege, really, to do it.
That's awesome. I mean, one of the things that I heard you say is that you really help people help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big thing that people are trying to do right now. They're trying to figure out how to help themselves,
Right.
because it's just a lot of kind of soul searching, if you will,
Sure.
on this last couple of years with everything that's been going on. A lot of people are kind of discovering themselves, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine if I would imagine a lot of people as well during times of isolation or times of stress. I mean, a lot of old feelings
Mm-hmm.
come up that are probably in your subconscious
Mm-hmm.
that affect your everyday life that you don't even realize why. And that can also manifest itself physically, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And really the premise for that is very simple. If your mind can make you sick, just for example, you're all stressed out from work or relationships or whatever, and you end up developing an ulcer. Well, if we reverse that logic, your mind can make you better. And that's what we focus on.
Mm. I can tell you I believe in that for sure. I've personally had an ulcer before.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fun. And and you're right. The mind is a powerful, powerful tool, but you can use it against yourself as well. I mean, that's how powerful it is, right?
It's easier to do that than it is to help it, for yourself or promote your health. But that's our honestly, and we'll stay in the metaphysical mind, body, spirit context. When we're raised, that's how we're trained. We're trained to take a pill. We're trained to success means 80 hours, at the office, neglecting family or whatever, neglecting relationships. And this is what society throws at us. Now, that's not the world I live in anymore, thank God. I think the change for me was I was actually getting closer to retirement, working corporate many years. And I can't say it was an epiphany, but it was more of a realization. I don't know anybody on the deathbed ever said, gee, I wish I spent more time at the office. Yeah.
Um, You were breaking up just a little bit there.
Okay.
Go ahead. Repeat that last part you said about corporate.
Oh yeah, I had worked a lot of years corporate, and what I actually resigned my position working in corporate America to do this full time. That's how much it resonated with me several years
Okay.
ago. Um, if the background story behind that is rather,
I mean, that's great. I think that's where a lot of people are right now,
yes,
right?
yes, and
You hear about
yeah, it was a matter
you
of
hear about staff shortages
right. Well, I did. I was,
for all these different companies and everything,
yeah,
and people are kind of throwing out the context that people just don't want to work.
mm-mm.
I don't think that's the case at
No,
all. It's
no,
not that people don't want to work.
no,
People are waking up and they're
yes,
discovering
right.
within themselves that, wow, I've been putting in all this time, all this effort, all these years, getting very little in return.
Right, very
Just
well,
basically just living paycheck to paycheck, trying to
right,
get by.
absolutely,
There has to be a better way.
right.
There
So,
has to be a better way.
and Derek, if we can make this official right now, we can call it the Great Awakening. How's that sound? Because that's what I see in my practice every day.
I think that's an excellent.
The consultations I get, the people that I meet, not just by chance. This is all synchronicities that are occurring. Clients that come in. My partner has seen a fair number of clients too, and the Great Awakening is expressing itself by exactly what you just explained. Literally, people coming out of the woodwork saying, "There's got to be a better way. There's more to this than you know." Being planted in front of a computer 10 hours a day, just to keep your head above water or something like that. And, even though that's a third density catalyst, it's still the catalyst to start expanding the thinking. Where do we go from here? What's next? And these are the people that you meet in line at Walmart to tell you their life story. People you run into that, hey, what is it about you? Why are you so happy? And then anything and everything in between. And there's the opportunity to expand on that original catalyst where the individual questions himself. There's got to be something more.
That's where it all starts with just the questioning, just being curious.
Yes.
And really following that, following up with that gut feeling though. Don't just ignore it.
Sure. And that's the overcome fear part, because that's when the fear kicks in. If I do resign my position, how am I going to pay my bills? Would my wife divorce me, or anything difficult? And those are some real barriers to overcome, but they can be overcome. Absolutely,
they can. And to me, it just starts with the curiosity, the questioning,
right.
And at that point, once you start going down that road of questioning, and seeking and desiring a better way,
right.
Then it's up to you to have the awareness,
right,
for the synchronicities that will start
right.
showing themselves in your life,
right.
And they may not be like big boom in your face,
right.
They may be very subtle, but one synchronicity leads to another, to another, to another, to another.
One way to look at it, again, in the metaphysical context, these synchronicities that you see could very well be messages that you've left for yourself.
You know what? That's so funny that you say that, because that's something that I have always had this gut feeling about that I have, that the synchronicities that I come across are left by me.
Yes, they are.
That's and I know that sounds probably weird to some people out there, but I don't care.
Right.
I've had this thought for some time now, and then to hear somebody else say that is kind of cool.
Just validated what you were thinking. It resonated with you, so I would say chances are it's probably true.
Yeah, it's a real cool thought. I need to leave myself some bigger clues. Sometimes I think
they can be subtle. How that happened, and if I'm free to give a quick example, I can share that with you. Your audience, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay.
Please.
I had a client, a very recent client who I regressed into a past life, and through going through the past life process, that we were able to take him and communicate with his higher self, his subconscious. And his question that he had for himself was, what can I do to raise my vibration, to raise my awareness? And the answer that came back from his subconscious was, well, remember, you are the creator of your reality. Everything you create, and remember, you created it, so you must love it all. But look in the background of everything that you could create. And there, and the next question was, what would so-and-so, my client, find in the background? And the answers were the messages you left for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a recent segment, and that's where that came about. So that's been the topic that's been, in the forefront of my mind, and I've been looking for them myself. And I think, wow. And I think what's interesting is not all messages have to be profound. If you have a good sense of humor, you could leave yourself a little irony type message, or something humorous that you know that would be, oh yeah, that's my sense of humor, that's me. They could be fun things. They don't necessarily have to be deep, profound messages that going to change everything in my life. They could be anything from little simple messages like, yes, you're on the right path, to something even comical, just to keep a sense of humor about it within yourself, that you are going on the right path, but yeah, that was kind of ironic that happened. And then you think about, why did that happen? Why did I script that? Why did I co-create that with another? Okay, to see this, keep your sense of humor. See, I mentioned that on purpose because where I'm leading to with is the first step to enlightenment, to awakening. The first step to enlightenment is to lighten up.
Mm. The first step to enlightenment is to lighten up.
Yeah.
That's profound, actually. That's really profound, because you're absolutely right. That's it's hard to get to enlightenment. I mean, really impossible if you think about it, to go um from a place of, like, I guess a lower vibration of
Mm-hmm.
anger, or being depressed, or being too serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think seriousness kind of.
I think the bridge there is our topic really is gratitude. To give,
Absolutely correct.
you know,
Absolutely correct. That's
I,
what we were going to talk about today, is gratitude.
I would submit that it's pretty difficult to be grateful and depressed at the same time. So you can choose one, right?
It definitely is.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about a little bit
It
about,
definitely is.
yeah.
So we were talking about this the other day
Yeah.
offline,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, I guess, sharing with you kind of an epiphany of my own,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure many
Yes.
scholars and people have been, you know, uh, in this realm for a lot longer than I have already know it. But for me, it was, epiphany was more powerful when you discover it yourself.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And
You
they're
know,
awesome. Don't they bring a
um,
little sense of just like cool? It's just like maybe a little shot of joy in there. They're awesome. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like a light bulb going off.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that light bulb the other day was that gratitude is really what you always come back to whenever you find yourself into um like a not so good feeling,
Sure.
right? Whether you're depressed, or um you have anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
worried about your bills, worried about your relationship, worried about your job,
Right.
whatever the case be. There's so many things out there that you can be worried about, right?
Sure.
Especially if you tune in into the news. And I've said this on almost every episode that I have, you know, how the news and all that is just programming.
Stay away from it. Yeah.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's very difficult to get from a kind of a depressed or not so good feeling all the way up to feeling happy, right?
Right.
People say from time to time, just think happy thoughts.
Right.
Think happy thoughts. Well, it's hard to think a happy thought if
Mm-hmm.
what you're focused on are things that don't make you feel happy.
Right.
So instead of trying to go from the very low feeling to the very high feeling,
Mm-hmm.
the balance is right in the middle, and it's gratitude.
You're right.
And
Right.
gratitude is kind of like the stepping stone, I think, to get you up to the higher vibration feeling.
And, if I could just echo what you just explained so well, happiness. Happiness is not the cause or prompts for gratitude. It's the other way around. Gratitude leads to that happiness. It's gratitude that causes the happiness. So, if I could encapsulate that, I would suggest gratitude is the bridge to peace in a very, again, metaphysical context, but in a very general way. When we look at gratitude, and you had mentioned vibration earlier, when we look at that frequency, that's 540 hertz, which is just above love. Love being about 500 hertz.
Mm.
The only thing above gratitude is enlightenment or enjoy, if you will. Okay, you could substitute the two. So
Right.
we're talking a very high frequency, very powerful force of gratitude, which is, like you suggest, probably the only thing that can take you from being in a bad way and down in the dumps and feeling bad about yourself or depressed or something, and then moving you to a higher vibrational state where you can be happy, where you can experience that happiness, that joy, is the catalyst, again, is gratitude.
Yeah, and I don't use the word vibration loosely either. Like these frequencies that you're talking about, the 540 hertz,
Right.
these are measurable.
Right.
These have been scientifically measured
Mm-hmm.
by doctors to, they can measure these frequencies. Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of him, but
Absolutely, Kim.
he's one of the leaders in this
You got
field.
it. Absolutely. And frequency is simply a way of saying the measurement of the vibration. And if we look at the Hermetic principles, of which there are 7, one of them is everything vibrates. Not everything moves. Nothing is static. Everything is in motion, down to the atomic molecular level, to even the words and our thoughts have an energy to them, a vibration, a frequency that can be measured. And even when you think this, circling back to what you had suggested about being in a bad way and having difficulties, how do we get out of this? If you stay in that paradigm, thinking these, woe is me, I don't know what I'm going to do, and get depressed. Well, these are low vibrational, low frequency energies that you're telling yourself. Now, one interesting thing about the body is the body doesn't know whether you're joking or not. It hears, if it hears you say, "Boy, I'm really bad at this." Well, okay, this is the energy that you're putting out there. This is the energy that your brain hears you say. This actually leads over a little bit into cognitive behavioral therapy, is the positive thoughts, thinking out loud, and this registers with the brain. So your thoughts do the same thing too. The same energy is put out there in the universe. Again, your body doesn't know the difference if you're joking around or if you're not, or if you're serious. So it takes it literally. Um, so now we have to do, what do we have to do to make that change? We circle back to gratitude. What can we be grateful for? Well, um, I know you personally, Derek, and I know you've shared some very wonderful things that you found that you were finding yourself grateful for. And for you, that started at a very basic level, wasn't that right? With when you started with, and I found that very interesting. That okay, I had to start here and build from there. So I don't know how typical that would be, across the board, but I found it very interesting that you had enough focus that I'm going to start here, and that was just simply what being grateful for the air that we breathe,
My
or
breath.
yeah,
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 absolutely.
right. And
I
that
mean,
I found that
it's
profound. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
found that profound.
it's one of those things that we do. It's just one of those things that our body does for us that we don't have to think about,
Right,
and you really don't think about it unless you have something that takes your breath away,
right.
right? Now, when, you know, and that could be just as simple as like choking on something, right? I don't know if you've ever choked on something to where it really restricted your airway.
Fortunately, no, but it looks terrifying. It does. Yeah.
I have. That
Oh
is a
my.
terrifying feeling.
Yeah. My goodness. Wow.
So
Well.
so it really depends on, I think, where you're at, like how low your state really is. So
Mm,
for me, at that point in time, just it was hard to think of things to be grateful for at
Okay.
that time, because your mind is constantly going to things that are going wrong. It's
Right.
attaching to things that aren't going how you feel like they should go, not going wrong, just not going how you feel they should go.
Okay.
So to get to breath, very easy to be grateful for that. If I don't breathe, not alive, right?
Right.
But and then I just built on that. So I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for my healthy heart. I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful for the blood that flows through my veins. I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful for, healthy legs. I'm grateful for my eyesight,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you just kind of continue down that path. And then from there, it was actually easy for me to be grateful for things that have not actually manifested for me in the physical form yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can start to visualize myself
Mm-hmm.
achieving these things, having these things, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore it was very easy for me to slide into that, continue that vibration of gratitude.
Right.
And from my research, from what I know, is that is how you truly powerfully manifest things into your
Mhm.
existence.
That's exactly right. It's my understanding too. Um, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I can actually connect this with money. The universe only knows abundance. We've only known. Have you ever known the universe to make one of anything?
Mhm.
No. So let's talk about. I'm tying this in with the gratitude, but I was just reminded of by what you were explaining. If someone is again in a bad way, say in financial dire straits, and they pray or they try to manifest money, and they do it from a basis of need or want. The universe does not understand that. The universe only knows abundance. Right? So I'm asking, meditating, praying, please send me some money. I need to pay. Okay. And the universe's response would be something like, what are you talking about? There's plenty of money all over the planet, right? Simple. Only knows abundance. So when you change that paradigm to visualizing having it and then living that, not just thinking that, but literally living that and expressing that in your actions and how you feel and how you think and how you treat your others and treat yourself. That's the key to manifesting, whether it be money or your role, and you want to further your role in life, for example. And exactly right. And I hope that that example helps your audience. I
Absolutely, absolutely. And it goes across the board. Anything you're really trying to manifest,
mm-hmm.
even the type of relationship that you want, right?
Yep.
You also manifest that by
Mm-hmm.
visualizing that
Right.
you have
Right.
already what you want.
Right.
But it's the feeling behind it. It's the
Mm-hmm.
emotion
Exactly.
behind it
Right.
that is the catalyst to make this happen.
So
If you
how
don't
you
feel it, if
right? Yeah. So how you change that? Gratitude, right? And even if you have to
gratitude,
fake, even if you have to fake it till you make it, like boy, I'm in a bad way. You know what? But I choose. I'm going to consciously choose to be grateful. I'm not sure what I'm grateful for yet. Maybe the situation will turn itself around, but I'm gonna something good will come out of this. And even if that's a starting point with not being non-specific but simply making the choice to be grateful, I know my life experiences, I when I have done that is when things have started to turn around. And if I can share with you and your audience what I'm personally grateful for today is all the chances that I've been given in this life.
mm, mm. Amen to that.
Yeah,
I,
all the
I feel
chances.
you on that 100%.
Yeah. I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to be grateful, like
Mm-hmm.
just think back to some of that stuff, because I'm sure almost everybody has been through something
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, wow, that was, wow, that could have been bad. That could
Yeah,
have went a different way.
yeah, yeah.
You know, that could have been me. That could have been whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually brings me to a list that I found and I sent you.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look at that.
I like list here.
Sure.
I like
Okay.
to kind of pick them apart a little bit.
Okay. Where was the start?
So this one is called, I found this article on mindful.org.
Okay.
This is 10 ways to practice daily gratitude. And so I think this might be helpful to some people out there. If you're
Okay.
having problems trying to get started on how to be grateful, sounds like it's something that's simple, but a lot of us don't do it, at
No,
least not as often as we should.
I don't know that it's necessarily easy to express gratitude, to be grateful. I honestly believe, regardless of how enlightened one might be or awakened, it's a choice. I could be grateful that you invited me, and I am, to this podcast. And then, later today, it's not even across my mind. I'm not quantifying that or lessening that in any way, but choosing to have gratitude just as a general state of being, I think is really what we're focusing here. And I'm looking at this list, and I really like it because I think these are the steps or the ways that you can achieve that.
Yeah. So let's hop right into it then. Um, the first one on the list is keep a gratitude journal. It says establish a daily practice in which you remind yourself of gifts, grace, benefits, and good things you enjoy.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
recalling moments of gratitude associated with ordinary events, your personal attributes, or valued people in your life gives you the potential to interweave a sustainable theme of gratefulness into your life. What do you think about that?
Wow. I like that last part there. Interweave a sustainable theme of gratefulness into your life. It is a mindset. It is literally a part of your psyche each day that once you practice it enough, it just becomes a part of who you are each day.
Yeah.
And that gratitude again leads to that happiness and maybe even those quiet moments of joy.
And it does take practice because, I've been practicing it a lot myself here. Like I start thinking about things that I'm grateful for before I even get out of the bed.
Right.
As soon as
Oh,
my alarm goes off or I just wake up or whatever, um, I just start thinking of things that I'm grateful for because what's what's normal programming, not normal programming, but what was conditioned programming for me before is as soon as you wake up, you start thinking about, all right, you got a checklist of things to do. Um, I need to check in on this bill. I need to check in on this, check on that. And you start just going through the list of chores or whatever that you have to do for the day. That really kind of takes you from starting off your day with gratitude.
mhm.
It
Yes.
starts your day off in just kind of a different type of energy, I think.
Right. And it's a very healthy way to start the day, I would suggest. It's taking care of yourself. Now, I have a question for you though. When you go through, the things that you're grateful for, when you wake in the morning, um, do you find yourself even being grateful for the difficult times you went through or the bad things that happened?
Oh yeah. Oh,
No? Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. I have. Because um those those are lessons learned.
Hmm.
Um
I would agree. Yeah.
and I that's one way to change the narrative on
Mhm.
perceived negative things that have happened to you in your life.
Mhm.
If you go back and you look at them from a different context
Mhm.
and you think about maybe some things you've learned since then, or you just kind of look at it from a different lens, and
Mhm.
then yeah, be grateful for the fact that you survived whatever that
Mhm.
is.
Right. Absolutely.
You made it through, and at the time, you probably didn't think that you were going to make it through. It might have seemed impossible at the time, but somehow, some way, you're still here today, and you made it through whatever that was.
Right. And
Which
I can,
is kind of the second one on the list here.
yeah, remembering the bad. Yeah.
Remember the bad. And then it goes on to say, to be grateful in your current state, it is helpful to remember the hard times that you once experienced.
Hmm.
When you remember how difficult life used to be and how far you have come, you set up an explicit contrast in your mind. And this contrast is fertile ground for
Right.
gratefulness.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I've an
Now,
example that a personal experience that I think probably many can relate to is years ago a failed marriage, and it was devastating. The divorce process and all the legal issues, custody, what have you, certainly didn't help me either. But for about a year or so, it was like the end of the world, or woe was me, and everything in between. I look back now, that was, oh my goodness, 25 years ago. Um, you know what? I made it through. And as I look back, I have the strength. I know that I have the strength that I can get through something difficult like that again. And actually, I'm grateful that I'm not in that relationship anymore. Okay. So,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And so, what would you say to someone out there that's they're reflecting back, they're trying to do this process and reflect back on a situation that they made it through, but they feel like they're still in a bad situation.
You can quantify that and qualify it. You can quantify it, for example, my experience of going through a divorce, and from what I understand, is very similar to grieving. That Elizabeth Kubler Ross, Five Stages of Grief, and what do they say? 2 months for every year of the relationship. So what helped me a little bit was to qualify it, to quantify, excuse me, that okay, I've been in this relationship for 10 years, and if the experts, the psychologists, for example, say 2 months for every year, okay, so it's probably going to take 20 months, year and a half roughly, before I'm on the other side of this. So that helped me with an endpoint. So the first point would be to quantify it. Next would be to qualify it. Am I going to live through this? Am I going to be better off? I don't know the answer right now, but at some point, somehow, some way, um, I'll be glad I went through this. So I'm going to choose to be grateful. And in that gratitude, again, faking it till you make it, if you have to, it's good. When you look back, you'll see that was the seed that was planted. That was literally the turning point of how you find yourself getting through this.
Right. And that's why affirmations are so powerful. When
Mm-hmm.
you talk about fake it till you make it,
Right.
we talked about earlier how powerful words are.
Mm-hmm.
And, certified in NLP, that is like a real big component of NLP is the
Mm-hmm.
words, the verbiage that you use.
Right.
So I agree with you, faking it till you make it,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it is repetitive. It is a practice. It is a
Mm-hmm.
practice that you have to continue to do. And as the more you do it, then the more you'll actually feel it and believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where the magic happens.
It becomes your reality. Yes.
It becomes your reality. All right, on back to this list. Number 3,
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself 3 questions. Meditate on your relationships with parents, friends, siblings, work associates, children, and partners using
Mm-hmm.
these 3 questions. What have I received from X? What have I given to X? And what troubles and difficulty have I caused? What do you think about that? Those
This
3
has
questions.
nuances. This has nuances of like a 12-step program, but asking these questions here. Yeah, what have I caused?
Right.
And what? Um, yeah,
I'm not sure I'm following
uh,
this one here.
yeah, I'm having trouble connecting the dots with this one too. What I would, I'm if I wrote this third item here, first question I would list would be, what have I given to? Because, and the reason why I said it, what works for me when, with, again, in the context of gratitude, in the metaphysical sense, I understand, accept myself, who I am, my role in the Great Awakening. And what motivates me each day is I ask myself, what can I do? What can I say, for example, so that there's more of you and less of me?
Mm,
If we start there, and that's where I start, then it's like, what wonderful things can we manifest today?
yeah, no, that's a good one. I just I literally just stated that very question
Mm-hmm.
just 2 days ago, because I was in this. It started off with gratitude. I was in this
Mm-hmm.
mode of gratitude. Started off in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then it moved to gratitude for things that I was manifesting. Right, and one of
Mm-hmm.
the things I said is I wanted, or I was grateful for money
Mm-hmm.
coming out of, just different places, unexpected places. Right,
Which has its own
and I kid
frequency.
you not,
Yeah. Yeah.
I kid you not even an hour or two later,
Mm-hmm.
I get a text message
Mm-hmm.
um, from this realtor that I've worked with in the past, letting me
Mm-hmm.
know that they had some referral money coming to me
Oh,
from a
very nice.
deal that I
Mm-hmm.
had referred to him like almost a year ago. I almost,
Wow.
no, probably 6 months ago. Like
That was
completely
totally
forgot about
unexpected.
it.
Wow. That's awesome.
Totally unexpected.
That's great.
And so after that happened, though, I was like, huh, that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
What else can I manifest today?
Absolutely. What else can you manifest? And that I
Yeah,
would say is a result of what I had mentioned a moment ago. What can I do so that there's more of you and less of me? So in your example, 6 months to a year ago, you referred somebody to, okay, that was more of that real estate agent, not you.
right,
Then what did
right.
you manifest from it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. That's true. Ah, wow, that was kind of profound there. So yeah, we turned that one around. I think, to
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself 3 questions. Just ask yourself one question, and
Yeah.
really start there.
What can I do so there's more of you and less of me?
Yes. So number 4, share your gratitude with others.
You know,
Research has found. What's that?
I'm sorry. I, I apologize. I interrupted you. Please
Oh no,
continue.
you're good. Research has found that expressing gratitude can strengthen relationships. So the next time your partner, friend, or family member does something you appreciate, be sure to let them know.
Sure.
And, this is one of those things where, again, it kind of seems like it's something simple, right? Somebody does something nice for you, you say thank you, you appreciate it.
Right.
But it doesn't
But
really happen like that, does it?
you got it. No, I know exactly where you're going, brother. You got it.
So,
Thank you. Goodbye. Right.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what is gratitude genuinely? And that item in the list, I think would apply more in a third density reality, not much
Mm-hmm.
reality. Okay. Um,
Right.
However, there is something to be said. A little bit of kindness can go a long way, and
Mm-hmm.
just hearing a thank you or a thank you note to somebody, um, telling somebody that you love them, you know, simply a way of expressing that gratitude. There's many ways. Um, how does that person understand and receive gratitude? Is it a verbal thank you? Okay, does that work for them? Or does a small, like I had mentioned, a thank you note work for them that shows genuine gratitude, or saying something like "I love you," or just like your and I relationship, we support each other, um, and we do that in gratitude. I'm grateful for this venue, and I'm grateful for the relationship, right? And we help each other that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's perfectly stated.
Thank
All right. So number 5, come to your senses.
you.
Okay. Um, let's see. Through our senses, the ability to touch, see, smell, taste, and hear, we gain an appreciation for what it means to be human and of what an incredible miracle it is to be alive. Seen through the lens of gratitude, the human body is not only a miraculous construction, but also a gift. Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Um, I have some thoughts about this, but I'll let you go ahead first.
Well, I'm going to stretch this a little bit and turn this into again the last component of this item is, but also a gift. And I would suggest that gratitude is also expressing a form of abundance.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. You were going to mention.
Um, Yeah. So come to your senses. The ability to touch, see, smell, taste, and hear. Gain appreciation for that. Okay, I get that. Um, Seen through the lens of gratitude, the human body is not only a miraculous construction, but also a gift.
Hmm.
I mean, this is all true.
Right.
Um, I think this is really just talking about gratitude for, really your health is what it sounds
Hmm.
like is more
It's
about, right?
common courtesy, really, is what I'm getting out of that.
Yeah.
It's just common courtesy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Pretty simple there. Um, Use visual reminders is number 6
Okay.
because the two primary obstacles to gratefulness are forgetfulness
Hmm.
and a lack of mindful awareness.
Hmm.
Visual reminders can serve as cues to trigger thoughts of gratitude. Oftentimes, the best visual reminders are other people.
Hmm.
Well, there are other people, unless you're taking them for granted, then that doesn't really help.
Right. That didn't resonate with me, honestly. Honest- thought-
Visual reminders, maybe I could see like affirmations, you know,
Mhm.
if maybe if you need to read affirmations to kind of get you started on that gratitude train, that could be helpful.
Mhm.
I used to put stuff up on my mirror at one
Mhm.
point in time.
Mhm.
Um, so I
I,
could
I
see
have,
how that could.
I have a personal example. I think that relates that I'd be happy to share. It was it was 5 years ago when my father passed, and forgive me for a moment.
Take your time, man.
My father was the greatest man I've ever known. So I got a lot of condolences, people sending me text, emails, cards, expressing their thoughts. And I appreciated that. But the best, most profound, and understanding gift that I received on again from a well wisher was just a friend of mine who sent me flowers. It was another male, didn't matter, and there were no words. Just sent me the flowers. I knew he got it. He understood how I was feeling. There weren't any words that could nothing.
You're absolutely right.
But those flowers were a very powerful visual reminder that he genuinely cared.
Yeah. Oh man, I got goosebumps from that.
Mhm.
That is very relevant. A very good story. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Ooh, wow. So yeah, that is a perfect example of a visual
Hmm.
reminder right there. Number 7 on the list: make a vow to practice gratitude. It goes on to say research shows that making an oath to perform a behavior increases the likelihood that the action will be executed. Therefore, write your own gratitude vow, which could be as simple as I vow to count my blessings each day, and post it somewhere where you will be reminded of it each day. So, I mean, to me, that's kind of the same thing as a visual reminder, like
Hmm. Yeah.
writing down your affirmations,
Hmm.
writing things that you're grateful for, and
That would be that list, right?
and
Or
consistency, right? So make it a point to do these things every single day. Consistency, consistency, consistency.
right, and simply making that choice, even if you have to make it to be grateful or to find gratitude in something. Yeah. Yeah.
And because I guarantee you, the more you read an affirmation, even if you don't feel it the first however many times you read it, you keep reading it, eventually you're going to start, you're going to feel it, is what's going to happen. You're going to feel it.
Absolutely. And that changes everything.
That changes everything. It's a game changer right there.
Yep.
All right. So, number 8, I like
Hmm.
this one. I think this one should probably be up in the top 3.
I agree.
Watch your language.
Even at the first sentence right there, I agree. You got it.
Yes. Yes. Because this is where the programming comes in right here. Okay. This is what we are kind of working against, if you will. The programming of our old language and turning the tide. When I say by turning the tide is you're not going to be able to fix it just like that. But you can shift the balance, right? If if you're spending, 70% of your day, complaining about things or talking about negative about people, and only 30% speaking positive, thinking positive, then you're out of balance, right?
Absolutely.
And you're probably having more negative experiences throughout your day than you are positive experiences. That's just,
Yep.
it's a law of attraction.
Mhm.
So you're not going to be able to go 100-0. No one can do that, first of all. You want to at least get it 51-49.
You got it.
If you can get that.
If you just get that 51%, right? And that is inherent to the universe. It is. And I can make the correlation here. If we, the frequency of love is literally the frequency of existence itself. And you can express that in many ways. One of the ways that it is shown is the yin yang symbol. And we see the dark and we see the light. Okay.
Check your microphone a little bit.
Sure. We see in the yin yang symbol, we
yeah.
see. Okay. 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 I hope that improved.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Thank you. My apologies. So again, I'm relating to literally frequency of existence itself is expressed many different ways. One of which symbolically is the yin yang symbol, which is the darker, the light, the balance. Okay. The male, the female. But there's really three parts to that yin yang. There's the white part, the dark part, the male, the feminine, but there's also that line in the middle, which is positive. So existence itself is slightly positive, 51%. The other 49 would be that. Okay. So it's just reflective of your suggestion is that even if you're 51%, you got it. Even if you're 51% love, you're more love than you are not, right? And that it's not hard, and that could be, again, part of the quantifying where I'm going to get from point A to point B. I may have problems in my life and I may need to change, but if we switch that around a little bit, you know what? I'm not a bad person and I only need to change a couple things. Well, I can manage that and I can get to 51%.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That is the goal there. It goes on to say, grateful people have a particular linguistic style that uses the language of gifts, givers, blessings, blessed, fortune, fortunate, and abundance. In gratitude, you should not focus on how inherently good you are, but rather on the inherently good things that others have done on your behalf.
Well, I didn't write this one, but what can I do so that there's more of you and less is me?
Yeah. That's it. That's the key. So watch your language, because that is huge. And here's the other thing. Once you start becoming aware of your language, because you'll realize very soon, once you start becoming aware, how you're going to realize very soon where your balance is, how
negative we can be about ourselves. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
And
so I would say though,
yeah.
So I would say, don't beat yourself up, though, once you start to catch yourself, because that defeats the whole purpose. But it's very easy to do. Like, dang it, I should have. So stupid. There I go talking negative about myself again.
I'm not very smart. I can't figure this out. Even if we add the word yet to the end of the sentence, we'll make an improvement there. I'm not very smart yet. Okay, right. So just change the whole paradigm.
I'm smart, and I will figure this out.
Right. Yeah, that's right. It's a challenge in front of me. I would suggest that it's just human nature. We don't automatically jump to that conclusion and make that decision consciously. Sometimes we have to be self-reflective first and just consider, all right, what do I need to do differently or think differently, or what barriers do I have to remove that prevent us from communicating on a good level or something like that. Yeah.
And that is huge. That is absolutely huge. When you start to be able to do that, things really start to move.
Yes, they
You know
do.
what I mean? They really start to move, and you really start to see things shift in just such a positive way. I like that. And
Well,
this
that's
number
good.
9.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to mention and give the accolades to you because when we were talking the other day offline, you explained to me where you had been and where you've gone to now. I sensed that you had done a lot of self reflection, and that's to your credit because look where you're at. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's ton of self-reflection. A ton of self-reflection. Um, but I think the key difference this time on my this last self-reflection I went through, I was a lot kinder to myself. You know, I was a lot kinder to myself, and I started thinking about places I ended up in, things I was experiencing, or things that I had just experienced, and I didn't come from a perspective of woe is me, or I shouldn't have been in this position, or I shouldn't have had to go through this. It's like, okay, I went through this. What did I learn from it? Okay, I learned that from it. Okay. I understand the pattern. I understand what happened, and I understand what I need to do from here. And I can tell you, it really all came down to is just right here. That's what it really came down to, is just changing your thought process. Like, and even if you know about how to uh, manifest, how to use the law of attraction, how to stay positive, you can still slide. You can still slide. That's all a part of this human experience that we're living here.
It sounds like you're actually a level above self reflection, and I would call it critically self reflective. And that's good job, brother.
Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. So number 9 is go through the motions,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you talked about this earlier. Fake it till you make it.
Yes.
And it goes on to say grateful motions include smiling, saying thank you, and writing letters of gratitude. By going through grateful motions, you will trigger the emotion of gratitude more often.
You had spoke to this several times during this podcast. Just stay with it, really. And you may not feel it right away, you had mentioned, but eventually it will come.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. There's nothing I'd change on that. And then number 10, we have think outside the box. And it says, if you want to make the most out of opportunities, flex your gratitude muscles. You must look creatively for new situations and circumstances in which to feel grateful. Please share the creative ways you found to help you practice gratitude. So I ask you, what are some creative ways that you've personally found to get the start flexing your gratitude muscles?
By being humble.
Mm-mm-mm. That part. That's it. And that's the show, folks. See you next week.
I don't necessarily have a problem with this, but I again I think we had touched on this before. Thinking outside the box and the realities that we're in, Derek. There is no box. To think there's a box, I think you're actually in it yourself. But there is no box.
Yes.
Yes.
The box is imagined.
Yeah.
That's the plot twist right there, folks.
Yep.
There is no box.
There is no
Hey,
box.
there's no box. There is nothing but gratitude,
Yeah.
love.
Right.
That's it. Everything
Right.
else is just noise.
There's illusion. Right.
The division that's going on out there right now, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Like we've created a world of division, and every possible form, every possible way. Okay. Sports,
Yes.
politics,
Yes.
race, religion,
Yes. Very much.
gender.
Gender.
We
Yes.
have
You bet.
created the
Mhm.
division. Think about it, people. Think about it. Who assigned these names? Who assigned these these names, these labels? Who assigned them?
Well,
They came
we're
from somewhere, from somebody.
right, but I'm not sure where they originated from. Um, I would suggest to you, um, organized religion would be part of that answer. But I know we're guilty of perpetuating it, society-wise. Yeah.
But that is starting to change.
Yes.
That is really starting to change.
And
And
you know where it starts?
you
With
mentioned it
conversations
earlier.
just like this is where it starts. Yes.
1000%, 1000%. And that's why I'm doing it. That's exactly why I'm doing it.
And that's why,
Start conversation.
right. That's why we support you. We need to talk about it. And we come to that realization that everything that we believed about each other or what we were taught about each other is inherently wrong. Okay. And we're both souls on the same planet, projections of our consciousness from a higher dimension. And we all have a purpose here. And it's done with the only truth of it all is that it's all based on love. Love is literally
It's all based on love.
vibrational frequency of existence itself. Yes.
Just like Bob Marley said, right? I got my Bob Marley shirt on today. One love.
Right. One love. Right. Right. He also said a couple of things that I guess my favorite is probably everybody's favorite, the most popular is Three Little Birds. But he also sang songs like, was it No Woman, No Cry? So,
like what?
Like No Woman, No Cry. I think I have the title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, that's it. Yeah, he's Bob was an enlightened guy for sure.
Yes, he was. Going too soon as well.
Well, listen, Brian, I really appreciate you coming on the show today. It's truly been a pleasure.
It's a privilege to be on, to be on your show. Thank you, genuinely.
Thank you. And before we go, I want you to kind of just give out a shout out on how people can contact you if they, want to find out some more information about quantum healing hypnosis and how that works.
Thank you.
So
we have our practice is set up in Palm Harbor, Pinellas County, and right on Route 19, in fact. The website that you can visit is ascensionqhht.com. Just all one word, ascensionqhht.com. We do have some events coming up. If I have permission to speak about them, the September.
Please, yes, absolutely.
We're having in Pinellas County in Philippi Park on September 20th. We're going to have a meetup for just metaphysical topics. Okay? Anyone invited, and you can look for those being advertised across social media locally. Here's one that you might find fun. Halloween night, I'm going to offer a group regression that anyone can attend, and it's not going to be a typical past life regression. It's going to be a regression to meet your spirit guides on Halloween night. Offer that and look for details on that.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay, and then in November, the 20th and the 21st of November, Saturday, the weekend before Thanksgiving, is the Mind Body Spirit Expo at the Tampa Fairgrounds, and we are at booth 401. We'll see you there.
Awesome. Yeah, if you haven't been to the Mind Body Spirit at the Tampa Fairgrounds, if you're in Tampa, I suggest you go.
Yeah.
If you've just been questioning stuff and kind of want to be able to be a little more curious without being pressured on the information that's out there, go check it out. Go talk to Brian at his booth. Be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And of course, you've got his information there, which we'll also post on the podcast so people can get in touch with you. And again, Brian, Thank you. It's been truly a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show.
Okay. And hey, in case no one's told you today, I love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know, you're the first person that's told me that all day today. So
You
thank you. Thank you.
go.
Love you too,
Okay.
man.
Thanks, brother. Okay.
And this has been another episode of Raw Emotion. I'm your host, Derek Chappelle. Until next time, peace.